In this episode, I show you why simply showing up consistently, stacking small amounts, and thinking long term is the real cheat code. Stop trying to outsmart the system, start playing the long game. You're not too late, you're just early enough if you stay consistent. La vida es un All right, guys, to get this episode started, we're just going to break down the myth of buying the dip versus stacking sats consistently. So, everybody thinks that when you buy Bitcoin, you have to trade it for whatever reason. Like you have to use it as if it's like you're buying Apple stock or if you're buying, I don't know, Microsoft or something like that. Everybody wants to buy the dip, right? But the truth of that is no one really knows where the bottom of Bitcoin is, nor can they predict it. Even the people who try to trade Bitcoin, they get wrecked majority of the time. I know no one who can time Bitcoin perfectly to the point to where, oh, I can call when Bitcoin is going to be at 60K this year, or I can call when Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million. Nobody knows that. The market doesn't reward those who guess right once, right? It rewards those who show up consistently, and it rewards those who DCA or dollar cost average. For those who don't know, and DCAing is a beautiful concept because it takes out the emotion of Bitcoin. It removes the roller coaster um, ride feeling of, if you see Bitcoin do a 60% drop within a month, you're not instantly going to sell because you're losing dollars, right? You're not going to sell because of that. DCAing removes that. It's not one of the things to remember is it's not about catching the dip. It's about building wealth in the habit. There are people who, like for example, there are people who wait on a 30% dip, 20% dip, 40% dip, or whatever, and in turn they end up missing a 30% rally or maybe a 50% rally just based on trying to time the market. Um, or maybe they believe that it's going to drop when Bitcoin goes up. So timing Bitcoin is just something that should not be done. In my opinion, I think that it just doesn't make sense to do. Um, One, because Bitcoin is not it's not a stock. It's not something that you can easily predict. It's not the next big thing. It's not like the next thing that's going to get you. It's not the next pumping up. You're not going to get 2,000% based off it. This is not going to happen, and that's not going to happen with Bitcoin. So if you buy Bitcoin, I recommend you DCA, right? You dollar cost average. In my previous episode, I showed you guys a chart of DCA strategy, and actually I showed you guys a couple charts. One was a chart by Rajat Soni, and another chart was another one by BitcoinMath.org, and they just kind of show you guys just different strategies on how to DCA, and like it lets you plug and play with numbers. I'll post the links in the video. All right, guys. So I wanted to show you guys this video by Da Vinci Jeremy. He's the guy who told the world to buy Bitcoin about 12 years ago, and I'm sure I don't know how much Bitcoin this guy owns, but he told the world to buy Bitcoin at $1. A million satoshis was equal to about $1 at this point in time, I believe. I think he says it in the video. But I'm gonna just let the video play so you guys can kind of put some things into perspective, and then we can talk about them afterwards.
It also, right, if it catches on in a big way, right, all those features, right, have already been laid down in the very beginning. Satoshi thought of all these things, right, for finances. And I don't know how, but he's laid it all down inside the Bitcoin protocol so that it's possible once it gets big enough. Wow, this system has to remain free and open. I'm going to move my life in that direction, ensuring that Bitcoins does not get co-opted by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and so forth, um, because it is a freedom provider for the rest of humanity. Because you can't create more; it's mathematically impossible. And a lot of you are skeptical. A lot of you don't believe in the Bitcoin system, and that's fine. You can stay on the sidelines, but if you really, really want to become wealthy in the future, I would suggest you take one frickin' dollar, $1, buy some bitcoins, put it in a goddamn wallet, put it a fucking away. Okay, I'm sorry for swearing, but you know what? It's just a dollar. Get some bitcoins, put it away. It goes to nothing. Who cares, right? You only spent a dollar, right? You'll get a million satoshis for $1, right? And the way I see it, that will be worth $1 million just inflation for inflation once once Bitcoin gets to where it's going to be. So
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna end the video right there. But yeah, I think it's pretty crazy to think that you could get a million satoshis for a dollar just 12 years ago. So just imagine if you would have put like $10 in the Bitcoin at this time. Today, 12 years later, you'd have like 10 grand. Just putting $10 in there. Imagine if you would have did more. Like, I, it's pretty wild to me. It's insane. I mean, because just to put it in perspective, today, so 12 years ago, you could buy a million satoshis, right? 0.001% of a Bitcoin, right? Or 0.01%, 0.01% of Bitcoin, which is equal to a million satoshis, right? You could buy that for a dollar in 12 years ago. Today, that same amount of money gets you get 950 satoshis for a dollar. It takes you a million satoshis today to get. I'm sorry, it takes you $1,000 today to get a million satoshis. Like, just to put that into perspective, it's just insane when you think about it. It's just crazy. And then another thing he said was that he's moving his life to ensure that Bitcoin gets is its success is ensured. And I think that a lot of people have this mindset now. I know I'm definitely one of those people who absolutely I want to do whatever to make sure that Bitcoin will succeed, which is why I run my own node. I'm going to do my own miner at some point. Which is why I create these educational videos to spread awareness about Bitcoin so that people buy Bitcoin so that we get more adoption, right? So yeah, that was one of the. I think this is like a perfect example to show people. A lot of people think that maybe it's still too late to buy Bitcoin because he got in super early at a dollar, but this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Like even $1,000 for a million satoshis is so cheap. It's so cheap. Eventually, it's going to be it'll get to the point to where a million satoshis is going to cost you $10,000. Then it's going to cost you $100,000. Then at some point, a million satoshis is going to cost you $1 million. So it's like you're very early right now, and you just don't realize it. And if you fail to realize it, then that's on you. You failed the ego test of Bitcoin, of what is Bitcoin. You failed the ego test. You failed to realize that this is something that is changing people's lives and will forever change people's lives. Bitcoin gives the little guy a fighting chance. You just have to take advantage of it. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is the mind shift portion of Bitcoin, or the mind shift happening, or whatever you want to call it, that Bitcoin does to you. After you truly understand Bitcoin and you've done thousands of hours of research and you understand what a consumer and what a saver is, Bitcoin does this. You sort of see this mind shift from being a consumer or being a massive consumer to a saver slash investor. And it's just part of the philosophical but powerful growth or powerful pull that Bitcoin has. One of the things that you need to keep in mind is that fiat trains you to spend, Bitcoin teaches you to save. When you shift from what can I buy now to what can I build long term, your entire life changes. You stop seeing Bitcoin as a lotto ticket and start seeing it as a freedom insurance. One of the things that you need to ask yourself is, are you playing the game or are you just consuming it? Bitcoin is a test of Bitcoin is a test of your time preference, what time preference is, and if you've ever read any of Jeff Booth's books, The Price of Tomorrow being the main one that I'm thinking of, is that you want to have a low time preference, meaning that You want to be the sort of person that waits for things and you don't rush things and you don't have the I want it now sort of mentality. You are a patient person. You wait for your Bitcoin to stack. You wait to stack your Bitcoin. You stack your Bitcoin patiently. You wait for it to grow. If you have the mindset of a high time preference person, meaning it's someone who has an attitude of I want it now, or I need to figure out how to get to $1 million tomorrow, or I need to figure out how to, or I'm going to do this scammy, I'm going to invest into this scammy shit coin that's going to go up 20,000% or whatever in 2 days. If you have that mentality, then you will never understand Bitcoin. So, what I suggest is read, study Bitcoin, develop a low time preference because that's what it's all about. And once you develop that, you'll see the mind shift that I'm talking about. Remember, you don't need to buy Bitcoin at the perfect price. You don't need to know it at all. You just need to start. You need to stay, stack, research because the future won't wait, but Bitcoin will reward those who do. It's just about not being perfect. It's about just being early and consistent. Thank you for watching the podcast, and I look forward to the next episode with you guys.